This is Gus Summers, and you're watching In-Show Celebrities. This is the time I take every Monday to talk about some of my favorite films and actors. This week, we have another grand talent of Hollywood. Not only has he worked alongside of some of Hollywood's best directors and actors, in his own right, he has just established himself as a true Hollywood talent. I'm talking about none other than Mr. Charlie Sheen. He not only has established himself as a movie star, but also as a television star coming from a family that has established themselves as a Hollywood legacy. His father, another great actor, Mr. Martin Sheen. His brother, also another fine Hollywood actor, Emilio Estevez. Right off, when Charlie was a young man with many of his neighborhood friends, such as Rob Lowe, Sean Penn, and his brother Emilio, they all got together making little films and just, pretending that they were movie stars. And right off, Charlie, who decided to follow his father in an acting career, even changed his name to his father's stage name of Sheen. And then he started getting roles, but right away, the roles you can already see that they were big. His first big role was in Red Dawn, along Patrick Swayze. And from there, he just, again, established himself as a serious, dramatic actor. Well, first up is one of the roles that really established him as a movie star. It went on to impact everyone in not only the business community, but in the movie community as well. And this movie just permeated everyone's consciousness. The film, Wall Street. He plays a Bud Fox, a young and up-and-coming commodities trader, working hard every day, trying to wheel and deal to make a living and make money. But his main goal is to bag a whale. That is one of the top tier traders, the men who actually have the funds to shift businesses, to build them up, to tear them down, all from their lofty offices up in Wall Street. His main target is a gentleman named Gordon Gekko. He is one of the top traders, and for months, every day, Charlie Sheen calls him, finds out it's his birthday. He's able to get some Cuban cigars, take him over, a gift. Hey, happy birthday. When he did that, that enabled him to get 5 minutes with Gordon Gekko. And of course, the actor that portrayed Gordon, another Hollywood legend, and again, another legacy. Again, another one of my favorite actors, Mr. Michael Douglas. He is basically, the shark of Wall Street. He buys and sells and makes tons of money. And this is the guy that Charlie Sheen wants to, do business with, because he knows just one transaction will change his life and his business career. Well, while he's in the office, he sees, Michael Douglas, conducting business, sell this, sell that, baloney, that's terrible. So he says, okay, hey, nice touch. Give me something. So Charlie Sheen gives him some stocks. These are good. And Michael Douglas says, they're terrible. Those are horrible. I already know about them. Give me something I don't know. At this point is where you see how business is done in this film. Charlie Sheen is basically a middle-class son of an airline executive. His father is Carl Fox. Again, another one of my favorite actors. And I love when father and son play off each other, Mr. Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen has been at an airlines and has worked his way up, and now he's part of the union. He's on the board. And just in the conversation with him and Charlie Sheen, he tells him, "Hey, we're really going to be expanding. We're going to get new routes. We got a favorable decision from the FAA because there was an accident last year. We're off the hook, so we're really going to expand." Well, you go to the scene with Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen, where Michael Douglas says, "Tell me something. Something I don't know." Charlie Sheen says, "Well, there's this company, an airline, Blue Jet or something, a Blue Line, I forgot what it's called." And he says, "They got a favorable decision. They're going to be expanding routes, and it's a good buy." He's like, "I'll look into it." Charlie Sheen leaves. He thinks he blew it. The next day, Michael Douglas calls him and says, "Buy stock. I like it to do this and that, and buy some other stock." And so that information, gets him in the door. Well, Charlie Sheen buys some other stock. It tanks, so he has to tell Michael Douglas, "Hey, the other stock I put you into tanked." And Michael Douglas says, "Well, I guess your dad's not on the board of that company either." And he realizes, oh, he knows how I gave him the information. And he's all, "Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. You know how this is played. I need stuff. I need you to tell me stuff that I don't know." He goes, I can't do illegal stuff." He goes, "You know how it works. If you can't do it, nice meeting you. Good day. See you later." Charlie Sheen finally agrees to do some bidding for Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas says, "Well, I got a job for you. I want you to follow this particular person. And follow him around. Tell me what he does, because he hurt me on a previous transaction, and I want to get back at him." Well, the man he has to follow is Sir Lawrence Wildman, but played wonderfully by the great Terrence Stamp. Charlie Sheen follows him, tells Michael Douglas, "Hey, he's been going here." He goes, he wants to buy this company. Okay. And Michael Douglas says, "Okay, start buying stock here." He tells all his network, "Do this, buy stock at this company, sell here, do this, do that." So it puts him in a position to have a confrontation with Terrence Stamp. So leading up to all that, he meets all sorts of different people, but one person, of course, is the love interest of the film, Darian. She is a interior decorator, and she helped decorate Michael Douglas's home, and she's at a party that Charlie Sheen happens to go to have Michael Douglas sign some papers. And Darian, the wonderful Daryl Hannah, and she's Charlie Sheen is saying, "That's a horrible painting. I wouldn't pay more than a few $100s for that." He goes, That's worth about $250,000. He's like, "What? I can't believe it." So they hit it off, and they end up having a relationship later. But the film in itself is a great look at how business is done. Handshakes, betrayals, backstabbing, you name it, all for money. So as the film progresses, you realize Charlie Sheen gets deeper and deeper into unethical behavior, just to please Gordon Gekko, Michael Douglas. And great film. You have a lot, got great actors in that. You have James Spader that's in it. You have Sean Young that's in it. But wonderful movie, great acting. I know you'll enjoy it. Another film of his. I enjoyed it. People who see it like it. I know when it first came out, people were kind of lukewarm to it. But it was a role that, matter of fact, Tom Cruise was up for, and Michael Douglas was even up to star in it. The film, Terminal Velocity. He plays Richard Ditch Brody. He's a skydiving bad boy. Anything he can do to skirt the rules or even break the rules, he does. You see him skydiving in restricted airspace. He crashes parties. He does all kinds of stuff. And so he works out in a skydiving camp, where people go learn how to skydive. He's one of the instructors. And because of him, they have like 50 violations from the FAA, almost nearly being closed down. And everyone's telling him, some people are like, "Yeah, ready to go, ditch Brody," and the owner's like, just be easy, stop. We got to get this place into shape. They're ready to shut us down. Well, one day a young gal comes in, and she says, my name is Chris Morrow. Uh, it's my birthday. I want to skydive. I want to learn. Will you teach me? And he's like, well, I don't have time. And, she puts on the girly hat. Come on, please. And so he goes, all right, all right. Well, he's thinking he's going to get lucky later on because she's, naive and, one of these girly girlos. And so he says, okay, we'll go skydiving. He says, well, I want to do a tandem jump, is where they go together. And she says, no, I learned something about I forget what it's called, a line, where you put a line, you jump on, and the chute opens automatically. And he says, oh, okay, we can do that. So he's telling, his young friend, hey, we're going to skydive, I'll call her later, we'll go to lunch, don't wait up for me, so on and so forth. And the young kid said, she's a cheapskate. I said I would record her, her jump, but she said no. And he says, okay, don't worry about it. I'll try to talk her into it. Well, Charlie Sheen and the young gal, Chris Morrow, another fine actress who portrays Chris Morrow, the wonderful Natasha Kinski. She goes, puts on a jumpsuit, says, okay, let's go. She says she's never been skydiving, goes and gets on the plane. So they're up, and she's acting nervous, and she says, this is my first time, everything's safe, everything's safe. And she looks at the door, and she says, there's another plane down there, is that safe? And Charlie Sheen says, well, let me go ask the pilot. Well, he turns to go ask the pilot, talk to the pilot. He turns around, she's gone, and realizes, she's out of the plane. Oh no, he runs to the door, sees her falling, so he jumps out. And he's trying to race to her, and she's just falling. And he's yelling at her, pull the cord, pull the cord, pull the cord. And he's trying to reach for the cord, trying to help her, and she's just falling down. And at one point, as she's flailing around, her boot kicks him and throws him back, and he has his device that's beeping. It's telling him that the ground's coming, and you got to pull it within like 8 seconds or something to be safe. So it's beeping. She's not pulling her cord. He pulls his cord, and his parachute goes off, but she falls and hits the ground. And so now this starts a whole ball of rolling. All kinds of trouble happens now. He lands. You see the police out there, paramedics, everyone's gathering around. The FAA come to, they're starting to ask questions. They're asking him questions, what happened, so on and so forth. Well, she's taken away, the body's taken away, the school is closed down, and he's talking to, some of the people there, and they're all, wow, what happened? He goes, I don't know what happened. He goes, it had to be a suicide. He goes, well, why was it suicide? He goes, the ground is coming at you. All you have to do is pull the cord, and you're safe. She didn't pull it. She didn't, so she must have wanted to commit suicide. There's something going on. And he learns that she left her purse there, identification, so they go to the locker. He looks at her purse, sees her name, address, and just goes there because she had called a roommate. And one of his friends says, he goes, well, she has a roommate. So he goes there to, I guess, talk to the roommate. While there, he's looking around, sees a picture of Natasha Kinski in actual parachute garb. So he knows, you're lying to me. Why were you lying to me? Well, let me pause there. Because in the beginning of the film, what you realize is that her roommate, Natasha Kinski's roommate, was out somewhere, and you see this plane land. She was out in this field, in this big old jumbo jet lands. And later she's on the phone, and she's speaking in American. I need to get a hold of so-and-so, I think in the State Department or something. And then she starts speaking Russian, and it's reading the subtitles. They're us. I got to get through to somebody. Well, when she's on the phone she's telling him, I'm leaving. While she's leaving, she gets attacked and gets tortured for information, but then she ends up being killed. So now fast forward, Charlie Sheen is there in the apartment. He's looking at something, and someone behind him comes and hits him with the top of the toilet cover. And he looks to see who it is, and another great actor, Christopher McDonald. Christopher McDonald's got this, this bleach blonde hair, and he's just beating Charlie Sheen, and he's telling him, "Who are you? Are you the boyfriend? Are you the boyfriend?" And throwing him around, just beating him. And he goes, "Boyfriend, where's the body? Where's the body?" Because the body that he had left earlier in the beginning of the movie wasn't there. So he's thinking, where is it? So Charlie Sheen is, Christopher McDonald takes a knife, is going to stab him, and Charlie Sheen is able to get him, wrestle with him. They break through this fish tank, and Charlie Sheen grabs his knife and runs away, and takes the knife with him. And Christopher McDonald couldn't catch up to him. Well, Charlie Sheen goes to a friend of his who is a salvage expert and telling him, ask him questions about the knife. So he goes, "Well, obviously it's a military style, it's this and that." And he goes, "I'll buy it from you." And he goes, No, never mind, I won't buy it. I won't sell it. So Charlie Sheen then goes back to the school, and he hears knocking on the door, and it's he thinks it's an FAA guy, and he says, "What do you FAA guys want with us? Want with me?" And the gentleman says, "Oh, I'm not with the FAA. I'm the deputy district attorney, Pinkwater." And the DA, another great actor, taken too soon, James Gandolfini. Wonderful actor. I love how he plays the attorney. He goes, "I don't know how you guys stand the dust out here." He's taking like Vicks nasal spray, eye drop. I hated it. It messes with my allergies, and he's just being this goofball. And so, he's telling him, "Well, I have to determine if, murder charges are going to be pressed against you." "What? I can't believe it." And Charlie Sheen shows him the picture. He goes, "Look, she skydived. She told me she didn't. I went to her house, and, this guy attacked me. I think there's more going on." And James Gandolfini is saying, "All right, I'll look into it. And then what happens is that Charlie Sheen begins to put clues together, two and two, to find out that there's something more sinister going on. I don't want to give too much away. I mean, that's just the beginning of just the first little bit of the movie. But there are twists and turns for murder, international espionage, smuggling. It turns out to be a really intriguing movie. And I know you'll like it. Just follow the pieces. And you'll enjoy it. The acting is great. How can you go wrong? Natasha Kinski, James Gandolfini, Christopher McDonald. All great actors. Well, one last movie. What I like about Charlie Sheen is that he truly has the ability to hold the audience while he's on the screen. Whether it be on television, as we know, he had one of the top-rated TV shows in TV history. And films, when you watch him, regardless of what it is, you're just not watching Charlie Sheen, which you are, but you're watching the character, and he pulls you in, and you want to see what's happening. Well, the next movie, I truly enjoyed it because it's Charlie Sheen really obsessed. The film, The Arrival. He plays Zane Zeminski. He's a scientist, an astrophysicist, and he is working for JPL, NASA, out on their satellites, and he's monitoring basically the universe, listening for sounds, see if he has, if there's extraterrestrial life. SETI. He's looking for extraterrestrial life. And what I liked about him in this role is that it's him, but he's obsessed, neurotic. He is the obsessed scientist that I know there's life out there. I know there's something going on. I know that this, and I love it's not only him intense, but it's him intense and obsessed. So and I love how he got into this role. So him and his partner, another great actor, Calvin, played by Richard Schiff. They're out monitoring, space and everything, and they turn and they realize there's a spike. There's a sound. Turn everything on. They turn the speakers on, and they hear this sound coming from this distant star, and They're hearing it. Okay, okay, go through the protocols, okay. Because they're trying to confirm everything, make sure they're following steps, Okay, we have to, move the dish, set it to this frequency, set it here, and they're getting everything done. All they need to do is have another station confirm it, and so they're desperately trying to get another station. Who's online? Utah, Nevada. Who's online? Go here. Okay, they're calling. They don't get through, and the sound disappears. And so they know they have something. And so, they gather all their information. They go to JPL and they go to their supervisor. Phil Gordian. He's the one that's, in charge. Another fine actor, and again, taken too soon. Mr. Ron Silver. And I always like Ron Silver because he has his ability to be overbearing and irritating. He's just, but a fantastic actor. Charlie Sheen and Richard Schiff tell him, he goes, look, we have the sound, we have the protocols, here's the tape, you can hear it something, we have, he explains everything to them, to him. And he said, did you confirm it? He goes, no, that's the only thing we didn't do. He goes, well, he goes, well, take it here. And so he takes the information, he tells Richard Schiff, go home, and he brings in Charlie Sheen. And he says, there's some bad news. We have cutbacks. I'm going to have to let you go. And Charlie Sheen, what? I have the discovery of a lifetime here. And you're firing me for it? And he goes, no. I believe you. There's something here. I know there's something here, but that's budgetary cuts. There's nothing I can do about it. So we have to let you go, but I'll take this. And I'll have him analyze it. I believe you. So Charlie Sheen is fired. And as he's walking away, Ron Silver is looking out through the window. He takes the tape that he gave him and breaks it. So now there's something going on. So in the meanwhile, Charlie Sheen is now obsessed with this, with the sound. Well, let me pause there because what I failed to mention was in the beginning of the movie, you see someone walking and there is daisies and it's lush and green. And it's who turns out to be a scientist, a lady, and she's walking, and she's looking, and she says something. This shouldn't be here. This shouldn't be happening. And the scientist is another delightful actress. She plays Dr. Green, Lindsay Krause. And you see in the beginning, this shouldn't be here. Picks up a daisy, and it pans back. It's in the middle of the Arctic. It's all snow except this little patch. So it means that something's going on. So as Charlie Sheen is trying to figure out what this sound is, she's trying to figure out what this green patch is. And she's a climatologist. And, she's realizing that, over the past, so many decades, greenhouse gases have increased. There's a strong, all around the world, but it's strong here in the South American country, Mexico, I don't remember where it was, or a South American country. Somewhere down there. So she goes to investigate what's happening down there. And meanwhile, Charlie Sheen is trying to figure out what this sound, what the sound is. And he has his girlfriend, another wonderful actress. You know her from all sorts of movies. Her name is Shar. It's the wonderful Terry Polo. She's a businesswoman. She loves him. She deals with his him being so crazy because she thinks he's brilliant. You're a scientist. You see things that other people don't do, but you got to kind of get a hold of it. Well, they're having trouble because she's potentially taking a job elsewhere, so she'll be leaving, and so their relationship is on the strain. But she's trying to encourage him and be helpful. When he wants to talk to her and tell her, you have to listen to me, and she's all, go home, relax, and I'll call you later. So you have Charlie Sheen dealing with his personal relationship. You have Lindsay Krause dealing with the climate change. And you have Charlie Sheen dealing with the sound. He's trying to, Richard Schiff calls him. He says, hey, they're here taking all our information. And Charlie Sheen says, they don't know about the backup. Don't tell them about the backup. The guy says, any more information? And he's a scary guy. Yeah, we have a backup. So Charlie Sheen has no data. So what he ends up doing, because he's a scientist, and he ends up getting a job as a cable installation man, and he realizes, you know what, I can use people's dishes to gather the information I need. So he goes around telling everyone, hey, you got free cable. Hey, let me adjust your cable. Let me do this. Let me do that. You got free fiber optics. And he adjusts all their personal dishes so he can tap into his network. So he can tap into a network. And then when he's doing that, he hears the sound again, and he knew he was right. So he begins to pursue the sound. It takes him to the same South American country that Lindsay Krause went to. And they actually cross paths. And he's down there investigating. And this is kind of where I'll stop. He finds that there's a particular installation there. And he goes and investigates. And from a distance, he sees someone that looks exactly like Ron Silver, except from like a Latin descent. And he's saying there's something going on here. And now, not just governmental espionage and intrigue, there's celestial involvement and intrigue in there. Again, another great movie. I love the way Charlie Sheen, got into this character and, being the obsessed scientist. Wonderful film. I know you love it. But, what's great about Charlie Sheen is that he has a body of work that, goes back decades. He wasn't just, a television star. He was first a movie star with, working with, like I said, Oliver Stone, Clint Eastwood. He worked in a Platoon, another great movie. You had Tom Berger. You had all sorts of great actors, and William Dafoe was in that. Again, just look at his body of work. Fantastic movie star, television star. And I know he has a lot more to come. Well, that's what I got for you today. This is Gus Summers, and you've been watching In-Show Celebrities. This is the time I take every Monday to talk about my favorite films and actors. Don't forget, remember to visit us every Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. at theinshow.com, where I host The In-Show. And that's where I bring on celebrities and all sorts of guests. It's just talk about their projects or whatever it is that's on their minds. Of course, look for us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Flickr, Instagram, all those great social media sites. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, Gus has left the building.